And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What a game, man. Like, look, I understand, people, all the talk leading into this series was, oh, it's the Thunder and the Pacers. Who's going to watch, blah, blah, blah. But like I said it in the live stream, the last live stream, going into the NBA Finals, I talked about, like, as a basketball fan, this is going to be a great game, right? This is going to be a great series, And, don't sleep on the Pacers. They keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. They play a full 48-minute game. They keep doing every time you think that they're dead and in the water, they come back, just rise up. It is unbelievable, man. Seriously. Give it up for the Pacers, man. Seriously. They keep doing it. They keep doing it. I've heard all kinds of, like, oh, it's a fluke. Oh, wait till they play the West. Wait till they play the Thunder. This, that, and the other. They keep doing it. They were getting dominated almost that entire game. Dominated. Right? And I made a tweet or X post, whatever you want to call it, right? And I talked about how, like, if at halftime, I said, if the Thunder, if you're the Indiana Pacers, you feel great about this game, right? Because you're down 12 at halftime, which isn't a great deficit, but you're down 12 and you had 18 turnovers at the time, right? So it was like, man, if you're the Indiana Pacers, if you can just clean up the turnovers, you might have a chance to win this game. So I said in that same tweet, two things are going to happen. Either the Thunder are just going to run away with this and they're going to blow this game open, or that the Indiana Pacers might come back and it's anyone's game. And Indiana, to their credit, cleaned up the turnovers, kept tacking away. You look up, all of a sudden they're in it. Tyrese Haliburton is like nowhere to be found this game. He had like 10 points going into the fourth quarter. He finished with 14, right? Dude is just like not having a great game by any stretch of the imagination. But when it mattered most, give the ball to the guy. And what does he do? He goes and he wins that game. And he's done it time and time and time again. Every time, dude, that guy's like Tyrese Haliburton is like the most clutch player in NBA history at this point. Like the guy's going on like an epic run. And you look at this team, the fact that they won this game, they had 24 turnovers. 24 turnovers. If they didn't have 24 turnovers, they'd probably blow OKC out at home in game one. This was a game that OKC absolutely should have won. Absolutely should have won. Right? But unfortunately for them, they did it. This is going to be a great series regardless. I think this is going to be a long series. I think this is going to be a tough series, hard-fought series. I still think OKC probably wins this, but they got what they wanted. They got the SGA, in his spot, tried to go get a bucket. He just wasn't able to finish. But man, this series is going to be fantastic. And seriously, you got to credit the Indiana Pacers. OKC ended up going like super small, took out all their big men, which I think was probably not a great idea, right? Because they just couldn't rebound at that point, right? So Indiana matched them, but they had Obi Toppin and Pascal Siakam and stuff, which, by the way, I just want to say, it's one of the reasons why I think the Lakers would have given OKC trouble. I'm not saying that the Lakers would have necessarily beat OKC, but a lot of people think the Lakers would have gotten ran through by OKC. I disagree. And unfortunately, we never will know, and we're never going to find out, at least this go around, right? But Lakers, even despite the lack of center, the reason they've given the Thunder trouble is their size. They're big, right? Like, outside of the lack of center position, they're huge, right? And you look at a team like the Indiana Pacers, they were still pretty big despite going small, and they took out Miles Turner. But again, you look at a team like the Thunder, they're a bunch of like 6'3", 6'4" guards, right? I mean, like Lou Dort is what, 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". Caruso's, 6'5". SGA is what, 6'5", 6'6", right? Like, so again, you're talking about a team that they downsized, but Indiana's still able to match that. And that's the beauty. And this is what I've talked about, like with the Lakers being able to mix and match, right? Like Lakers are still probably going to play some small ball. I mean, the two teams in the finals are running 3 and 4 guard lineups, both of them, right? Nothing. And I've talked about it in the past, right? Like there's nothing wrong with going 3-4 guard lineup, especially in today's NBA with the pace and space and whatnot. But it's different when, like the Lakers with Darvin Ham would run 3 and 4 guard lineups, but all the guards are like 6 feet, right? It's like, Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, you have Austin Reeves out there, right? You have Dennis Schroeder. It's a bunch of like 6-foot guards. It's different when you have a bunch of 6'3", 6'4", versatile, high energy, extra effort, doing the dirty work type of guards, right? So, with the Lakers, I want to see the balance, right? Like I love the fact that they can go small and still be big, but you also need that athleticism. You need that athleticism out on the perimeter. You need those athletes, right? Something I've talked about very heavily with the Lakers. Lakers need athletes. They need athleticism. They need foot speed, right? You need a balance, right? You need to have a little bit of everything, right? You look at a team like the Indiana Pacers, they have a little bit of everything, right? They can go with Pascal Siakam at the 5 and Obi Toppin at the 4, and Neesmith, who's 6'7" at the 3, and then Nembhard and Tyrese Haliburton, right? Like, but they can also go Miles Turner and Thomas Bryant and match with the two bigs if they need to, right? Or they can go extra small and kind of run that pace and space, right? Like Lakers need to do that. Lakers need to find that balance to where you have the big man, right? But you can also go small, and have a Dorian Finney-Smith or a LeBron James at the 5 and still be big. Lakers need to find that balance this offseason because, I mean, look, it's been very obvious. The last few seasons, it's teams that have athleticism, defense out on the perimeter, right? Can shoot, pace and space, right? Switch 1 through 5, be pesks, right? Like, obviously, again, we're going to be Lakers are going to be more half-court oriented than a lot of these other teams just because you have Luka, you have LeBron. Lakers, I expect, are probably going to keep Austin Reeves. So you are going to be a more half-court team, right? And in the playoffs, it's beneficial, right? You see, like, down the stretch, the Indiana Pacers, they weren't just like running and gunning on OKC. They were running half-court sets, getting good quality looks. Miles Turner's knocking down a 3. Nembhard's knocking down a 3. Tyrese Haliburton, right? Like, so the half-court offense and the half-court sets are fine, right? But you need that athleticism. We need that balance around them, right? We need to find those gaps for us, right? Obviously, we need a center, which is why I'm fine with a Nick Claxton. Again, Nick Claxton probably isn't my favorite, but he's probably the most realistic option. But it's his defensive versatility. It's his switchability. It's his ability to defend 1 through 5, be a rim deterrent, be that lob threat, be that floor running big, right? And then, I'd like to get a big, physical interior presence, right? Can you get a more bigger body center as a backup? And then you have the small ball options, right? And if you want to go with like a Christian Coloco or whatever as your third big, okay, fine, right? But or maybe we draft a guy and that's like our development big, whatever, right? That's fine. But at the end of the day, like you matchups are very important. And the more that you can mix and match to match the matchup that you're going against, right? Say that 10 times fast, the better chance you have of making it through and win an NBA championship, right? Even the 2020 Lakers, last team to win a championship. You could go 80 at the 5 with, 4 guards. You go or LeBron. You could have LeBron with Caruso, Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo, LeBron, and AD. But you could also go big with Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, right? Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, right? And you just had this big fit. Like you look at that Lakers team in 2020, they were able to match whatever team that they were. Big thing was like, Houston that year, right? They just jack up a bunch of threes, and everyone predicted that the Lakers were going to lose that series, right? That they didn't think that they would be able to keep up with the pace and space that Houston team had. Well, the Lakers ended up having, Avery Bradley wasn't in the bubble, but you had, Rondo and Caruso and Kuz and LeBron, who could defend at that point. He was excellent in the playoffs, but, could defend at a high level consistency. And Anthony, and they were able to match up, right? Portland, able to match up. Miami, they were able to match up. All these teams, they were able to match up. They played a bigger team, Denver's big. Okay, they were able to match up, right? Play a smaller team like Houston, able to match up, right? That's what the Lakers need to get to. Lakers need to get to that ability where they can match up, right? OKC wants to go small. Guess what? We can go small, but still be big, right? Like those are the kind of things that are really going to benefit the Lakers. But anyway, what a game. It's going to be a great series. I still think OKC wins this series, but do not sleep on Indiana. I don't think anyone should be shocked if Indiana ends up winning this series. They keep doing it, man. They keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Tyrese Haliburton is the most clutch player in NBA history, right? Like it's been special. Seriously, it's been a special run. But anyway, let's jump into all the super chat questions, all the regular chat questions, all of that. Real quick, hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. So, bro, Hallie got to be the most clutch player in the league. It's unreal. Dude, he's on pace to be the most clutch player in NBA history at this point. I mean, that guy's going to have more game winners than anyone in the playoffs ever. Dude, that guy is just, he just keeps doing it. Like, what do you say? You just tip your cap to the guy and just go, man, like he keeps doing it every time. I mean, the guy was basically a non-factor in this game until he was, right? Like it was crazy. The Pacers are built for the clutch. Seriously. I mean, they really are. They're a great example. Great example. And this is another thing that I've talked about with the Lakers, right? Indiana is a great example of what playing 48 minutes can do, right? Indiana doesn't let up. They full court press the entire game. They hustle, they work, they play hard, they play gritty, right? I've said all season, right? You can win a lot of games just by outworking and out hustling the other team, literally, right? Like you don't have to necessarily be better. You don't have to necessarily anything. You can win games just solely outworking the other team and playing a full 48 minutes. But a problem that the Lakers have had these last few years, not even just this past year, last few years, is the Lakers love to not play a full 48 minutes. You see it over and over and over again. Lakers will play, they'll have a great first half, terrible second half, or they'll have a terrible second half, excellent, terrible first half, excellent second half, right? Or a great first quarter, terrible second, right? Again, it happens, right? Guys have bad quarters, bad games, bad moments. But when it's a normal thing, right? Like something that we talked about all season was like at times we don't even know which Laker team is going to show up. And that's a problem, right? Like you look at a team like Indiana, they're just out working teams at times. They're out hustling teams at times. They're doing the dirty work constantly. 48 minutes. They're down, whether they're down 20 or up 20, they are doing the dirty work 48 minutes a night. And that's the difference. That's why they're in all these games. It's why they put themselves in a position over and over again to win these games. Yes, they've been incredibly clutch, but it helps when you're playing the right way. Good way to be clutch and win games, play the right way. Dude, Hallie is so unreal. I said I picked the Pacers to win it, and they look good. Obviously, it's just one game, but they have what it takes, and they have like 20 or so turnovers. Yeah, they have 24 turnovers, which is insane, and they were able to pull that off. I mean, again, they very well can win this series. I still, personally, I still think OKC kind of makes the adjustments and win this game. I just think OKC is more talented overall. But again, don't sleep on Indiana. Do not sleep. I mean, all the pressure's on OKC now. If you lose game 2, this series is over, in my opinion. I don't think that they beat the Indiana Pacers twice in Indiana. Maybe they get them once in Indiana. I don't think they beat them twice in Indiana. So if OKC does not win game 2, I think Pacers win this series. OKC, you suck. Yeah. Haliburton is a killer. The guy is ridiculous. We need Turner and McConnell on the Lakers. Seriously, I'd love it. I love it. Unfortunately, I think that Miles Turner ship has sailed. And look, that to me is like one of the biggest what ifs in Lakers history. Like, I wish Jeannie Buss never vetoed that trade. Because if Jeannie never vetoes that trade, I think the Lakers have another championship. Honestly, I think they have at least one more championship. And if not, worst case scenario, you have Luka, LeBron, and Miles Turner right now as your foundation with Austin Reeves. Right? Like, now you just need to go get a guy. You can have Dorian Finney-Smith. That could be literally your starting 5. Pacers beating OKC, Tyler. That's what Laker fans want. Yeah. I mean, look, I would love, I think I'm always a guy that I love seeing the Cinderella stories, unless it's the Lakers, right? Like, unless the Lakers are the favorite, right? But I love a good Cinderella story. I love a good, like, dog coming out and coming to top, right? If Pacers end up winning this series, man, it'd be just an amazing story, right? Seriously, an amazing story. So, wow, Pacers did that. Yeah, they did it again. Still got OKC in 6. I said OKC in 6 in the previous live stream. I still think that they probably win it in 6, but man, it's crazy. They keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again. The comeback boys are the truth. Yes, facts. I kept the Pacers alive. And yeah, he was excellent. Lakers need to look at the Blue Read, man, follow suit. Get athletes and young players. Yes. Like I said, you want a nice balance, right? Lakers have guys that can come in, play multiple roles, do multiple things, but they need those workers, right? They need those athletic guys. They need those guys that can just put pressure on the ball, guys that can be relentless, right? Like, I know people always like Bronny James. Oh, like Bronny James, if he can, I'm not saying he will, but if he can, like, he's exactly what this team needs, right? A hyper athletic, defensive, just pesk, right? That can just be athletic. I'm not saying start him. I'm not saying play him 30 minutes, like, but he is the prototype of what the Lakers really need. And if you can get more of those, if you can get if we can just get some athletes, man, you can do a lot. I'm not saying you don't get, the like other guys, right? It's also about what's available. You want to put the best roster around as possible, right? I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to get like 6 young guys that are just athletes, right? But you might be able to get 2, right? And then, Bronny can take some strides, and all of a sudden, you have a handful of guys, right? Like, just, again, over the course of 82 game season, and then come playoffs, guys that can kind of just give you spot minutes. Stakes coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. OKC is too small on the perimeter. Yes, which is, again, one of the reasons why I thought the Lakers matched up really well. It's why I wanted the Lakers to get to OKC, because I thought that the Lakers could actually beat OKC. I'm not saying for sure that they would have, but Lakers were big against OKC. Like, OKC is one of the few teams that Lakers' lack of a center, I don't think would have bothered them, right? I definitely think, and same thing with the Warriors, right? So if the Lakers could have got the one team that I was worried about, and I said this going into the series, was Minnesota. I did not want to play Minnesota. I wanted to play OKC in the first round, right? Like, or not OKC, Warriors in the first round. That's who I was hoping we played in the first round, because I think we would have gotten through the Warriors. We would have played whoever we played in the second round, hopefully Houston. And then I think we would have beaten Houston. And then I think, again, not saying we would have beaten OKC, but I think we would have matched up extremely well against OKC. And I think that would have been a great series. But OKC, again, you're talking about a bunch of, 6'3" to 6'5" guys, right? So they lack that overall size. And you saw it, right? And then they went extra small and they couldn't rebound. And Indiana just grabbed all the rebounds. So, but again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. It pays to win the chip. Hallie is the Pacers go. I think so too. I mean, the dude was just, that guy has just won game after game after game for that guy, for that team. Claxton, Io, speaking my language. Jalen Smith for Rui, Kleba, Vincent, Connect, draft compensation, then hit the taxpayer mid-level exception and vet minimums. Yeah, I would love something like that. Give me an athletic guard and like an Io. Jalen Smith would be great. Nick Claxton. Yeah, I would, speak in my language. Clutch's man on the planet Earth, for real. For real. Yeah, dude, the guy is, he keeps doing it. The guy keeps doing it over and over and over and over and over again. What do you say? OKC playing like they want to lose in 4 EFX. Lakers got to get help, man. I'd be happy if we got CP3. I know people are going to say, oh, he's so old, but he's healthy. And as a backup, we could really be good. He could be 2020 Rondo, better than Gabe. Honestly, I said that in the video I posted earlier. I'd actually prefer him over Gabe. I would love Chris Paul if we traded Reeves, right? Which I don't think the Lakers are going to do. And the reason I would want to trade Reeves if you bring in Chris Paul is because, like, the whole thing that you have with Reeves, LeBron, and Luka is you have 3 primary ball handlers that can all make plays, that are all best with the ball in their hand, that all can run and initiate the offense. So you don't need another guy. You need a guy like a Gabe Vincent who can initiate, get the ball to Austin Reeves and then play off ball, or get the ball to Luka and then play off ball, or get the ball to LeBron and play off ball, right? Chris Paul is best with the ball in his hands as that playmaker that can wheel and deal, right? So to me, if you were to turn Austin Reeves into, a 3-and-D wing or whatever, something, or maybe multiple pieces, whatever, right? Now I think Chris Paul makes more sense because now you have LeBron and Luka, right? But then now you have Chris Paul off the bench who can slot alongside LeBron. LeBron can continue to play off ball. They can work alongside each other. Luka and Chris Paul, I kind of have a couple question marks about, but I think that they both could work together if you can make that happen, right? Like, I don't hate the idea of Chris Paul. I just think it makes less sense if you keep Austin Reeves because, again, it's like you want Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron to have the ball in their hands at all times. And you're going to have at least one, if not more likely than not, both 2 of them on the court at all times. So at almost all times, you're going to have LeBron and Luka, LeBron and Reeves, Reeves and Luka, right? And at worst, you're going to have like Luka on the court with guys, or Reeves on the court with guys, or LeBron on the court with guys. And they're going to operate as the facilitator. But again, if you were to trade Austin Reeves, then now I think, hey, there's an argument, hey, we could use another playmaker off the bench. So that way when Luka goes to the bench, or if Luka gets the night off, or if LeBron goes to the bench, or LeBron gets the night off, now you have that playmaker. Otherwise, I just think it becomes a redundancy. All right. Now you could argue vet minimum, he's worth just having, period, right? Just as like a leader and a guy that you can trust in key spots, key moments, that's going to take care of the basketball and whatnot. But, what are you going to do? You're going to have him on the court with Luka, LeBron, and Reeves? Probably not, right? So that's just kind of my thoughts. But, yeah, Lakers got a lot of work to do. Yes, they do. Haliburton is the exact opposite of LeBron James. In what sense? Something happened in that locker room. Pacers went crazy second half. Yeah. I mean, they took care of the basketball. I mean, it was that simple. Take care of the basketball, and you have a chance to win the game. Haliburton walked 50 miles in a Wisconsin blizzard once. He built different. Yeah. The guy is he's different. Center point guard and a few wings. We can make a real push. Cornette, Claxton, CP3, and add a and maybe another wing. We can win it all. Also, did you see Luka again? He's putting in the work. I love it. Yeah, I'm expecting a different Luka next season. Yeah, I mean, look, we definitely need 2 centers. You need a clear-cut starter, clear-cut backup, and then, yeah, some 3-and-D wings. Again, can you get into Nikhil Alexander-Walker? I've seen talks about Andrew Wiggins. I wouldn't hate something like that. He's just a little pricey for my liking, but got to get some perimeter depth, some athleticism, some defense. Lakers need a lot. Lakers got to be aggressive this offseason. Lakers in 5. Let's see. No, they won't. We still lose OKC because we have LeBron. I disagree, but okay. Foul Bader lost game 1. That's great. SGA is the only one with a good game on both teams yet. Yeah, I feel so much better against the Thunder for next season. Their offense is so stagnant without Shea. Yeah, they just become very reliant on him. And unless Jalen Williams is cooking, they kind of struggle. To be honest, after seeing the Pacers play, I don't think Luka Ball can win championships. I disagree. Luka Ball can absolutely win championships, but again, you got to have the right pieces around it, right? Like again, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, look at the Celtics last year, right? I mean, it was a lot of heavy isolation and half court sets, jacking up a bunch of threes, right? Like again, you can do it. You just have to have the right pieces around it. Like Indiana did it what they did because they're built that way and they have the depth and they are relentless and they play the right way. They play a full 48 minutes, right? Like Luka is ridiculous, right? Like again, you had teams like, the Denver Nuggets not that long ago, right? It's like every year a new team wins it and everyone goes, oh, that's the way you need to build it, right? And then Lakers end up making the right team. They end up winning and everyone's like, oh, no, that's the right way to build it, right? Like, again, sometimes it's just outliers. But you can look at the commonalities. What are the commonalities, right? The commonalities are you need athleticism, right? You need guys that can do the dirty work, hustle plays, grind, dive for loose balls, right? You have Obi Toppin diving for a ball that he's probably not going to get, but he's trying to make the effort. You love it, right? Like those are the kind of things. Remember when Reggie Miller, Pacers beat the Lakers in game 1 of the NBA Finals. Pacers lost 4-1 to the Lakers. I wouldn't worry too much about a loss. OKC proved that they can win on the road as well. Yeah, again, I would take OKC to win it, but again, I don't think you can sleep on the Pacers, man. The Pacers are ridiculous. I will say coach won this game. Pacers coach doesn't panic. Very good at in-game adjustments and has done this before in Dallas. That's the difference. Yeah, I mean, good experience, good understanding. I made a video over on AS The Lakers Show where I talked about how, JJ Redick improving as a coach next year, going into year 2, is another ceiling raiser for the Lakers, right? A better Luka, healthier Luka, conditioned Luka, upgraded roster, JJ Redick more comfortable in spots, right? Like all those things start to stack up and add to a team like the Lakers in the playoffs come playoff time. I just can't see how we beat either of these teams. We can't view Braun as a superstar anymore. If we had Anthony Davis, I think we smack both of these teams. The way that the Lakers were currently built, I don't know if we beat the Pacers. Pacers cannot beat the Lakers to save their lives because they just run everything through LeBron and Anthony Davis on the interior, and they just have no answer, right? Now with Luka, we play more into their game, right? So I think it would be a lot harder. But if the Lakers can get that interior size, I do think that could help, right? If you get the right pieces. When it isn't hooking players and flailing for 10 plus free throws, he still got 8, by the way. Imagine if they were the usual 10, they would have won yet. 1 point game, yeah. 2 young teams, no real experience in this type of atmosphere. Coaching will play a big deal in this series. Thunder coach panicked and put both the big men on the bench. Small ball favors the Pacers. Yes, agreed. Because Pacers can just go bigger in their small ball. If the Pacers pull this off, it might be the biggest upset in NBA history. I'm rooting for them. The Pacers are unreal, and Lakers say that they swept the champs without Braun and Luka. Yeah, well, so I think the media will hype it up like this was the biggest upset in NBA history. I don't think it really is the biggest upset in NBA history. Like, Indiana's really good, right? Like, they were really good last year. They're better this year. They have the experience, right? And they match up very well against OKC. It's just OKC's having a historic season and a historic run, and then you got the MVP and all that stuff. So I think at the surface, I think you'll get the media that just, they want the headlines and they want the big stories and the swings and whatnot, right? But I think if you actually watch the Pacers this year, and even in the play, even if you didn't watch them all season, if you just watch them in the playoffs, right? Like, this is a team that they basically did this, right? Like, this is who they are, right? Like, I still think OKC wins it, but they're a very good basketball team. OKC slowed down in the fourth. Didn't do same. Nuggets, I don't know about this game because Pacers did. Knicks, that's why it's hard to tell who's going to win. Going to be Game 7 if OKC wins next game. Yeah, I still think OKC wins. Again, one team plays 48 minutes, the other team doesn't. It's that simple. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you. Tyler, take a shot. I have no liquor still. I'm still in the process. We're working everything out, getting close. And then I have no liquor or nothing. I take a shot of water. Haliburton is clutch. I call Game 7 if OKC wins next game. You never know. You could absolutely be the Pacers in 4. I would be shocked if the Pacers swept them. If I do think if the Pacers win the next game, I do think that they win. I think they win in probably 6. But time will tell. Lakers aren't that far off. You need to surround Luka with athletes. Triple J in free agent is a must in 2 athletic guards and 1 athletic wing. Well, Triple J's probably sticking around. I think doesn't he have a player option, right? Isn't that what it is? I think Lakers would have to trade for Triple J. But if I'm the Lakers, I am pushing hard to go land Triple J, especially now that he doesn't qualify for the Supermax. So now there's no incentive for him to stick around in OKC or in Memphis. Memphis. But yes, Lakers need 2 athletic guards. Like again, they're about like 4 players away. You need 2 centers, a real clear-cut starting center, a backup center, and then like 2 athletic perimeter guys. And I think the Lakers can be in that conversation, assuming Luka is Luka, and it's only 1 game. OKC finna win the whole series. Mark my words. Now, do you think SGA won MVP and not finna win the championship next? I mean, it's happened before, but I do think OKC wins it. OKC has been playing big in the first 3 series. Now they want to go small ball. Memphis, Denver, Minnesota, they played big and fast. Now Indiana is the best running gun team that they have played this year. Well, and that's why they tried to play to Indiana, which was foolish, right? Like Memphis, Denver, and Minnesota are all bigger teams. So they just stuck and stayed big to match those teams. But you look at a team like the Pacers, they thought if we go small, we can just kind of outgun them, and it didn't work. It didn't work. Hi, Tyler. Good game, good live. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here for 1 and 2. Yes, absolutely a great game. Can Lakers trade for Khalil Ware? Can they? Yes. Will Miami trade him? Probably. I'd be pretty surprised. Even if Miami hits the rebuild, right? Even if they rebuild, Khalil Ware is one of the guys that they want to rebuild around, right? Because he's a rookie. It's like, what, 20, 21, something like that? Pacers are battle tested and played 3 big teams already, beating Bucks, Cavs, and Knicks in a matchup. Knicks is a match better resume. If they beat OKC, they might go down as the toughest road to championship on paper. It definitely be one of them. Definitely a tough road. I'll take a blowout loss over a clutch shot to Hallie. Yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing's worse than those kind of losses. Thoughts on a Keon Ellis trade if they can? I don't know if. I mean, Sacramento makes foolish decisions all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised. But Keon Ellis would be great, right? That's the kind of athletic, versatile, defensive point of attack guard that can just be that pest, be relentless. If they can get Keon Ellis, then yeah. Anybody think KD on the Knicks would have beat the Pacers? Depending on what the makeup of that team is. Yes, depends on what they would have given up for KD. Like assuming that they land KD at the trade deadline, right? Yes. I think that they might have, yes. OKC, KFC, KCC, Pacers in 6. The devil lives in Indiana. Hey, Tyler, if you could trade Austin and Vandal for Kessler and Sexton, will be great. They are both free agents 2026 and will make $115 million cap room for us. Sign Banchero and Triple J in 2026 for nothing. I don't think I'd be shocked if Banchero leaves Orlando. Triple J, I actually think is a very real possibility. Because you get Kessler and I've said, like, I would trade basically whatever you have to go get Kessler. However, the Lakers wouldn't do that. You know what's funny is I've used Sexton as an example of, like, I wouldn't trade Austin Reeves for Sexton, but I wouldn't look at it as trading Austin Reeves for Sexton. I'd look at it as trading Austin Reeves for Kessler, and then you're trading Vando for Sexton and kind of give you that bench scoring and whatnot from Austin Reeves. I don't think the Lakers would ever do that. But to me, if you can land Kessler, I'd pretty much give whatever you have to land Kessler. You're talking about literally the best rim protector in all of basketball. Connect for Missy as a second center. Next to Kessler is amazing. And sign Taurean Prince and KPJ in free agency. If you could pull off Missy as well. Lakers just need to add a shooting guard and center and a backup center, and we good. Yes. Like I said, I think that they need 4 guys. I think they need a clear-cut starting center, backup center, and then, can you get 2 perimeter guys? We find out a lot about the Lakers in the next 30 days. I can't wait. I think Lakers could trade Austin Reeves to either the Warriors or the Spurs. Both pop, Kerr, love Reeves. I don't know what you'd get from either. I mean, I would love Jonathan Kuminga, like, genuinely. Like, I would go get Jonathan Kuminga. Spurs, I don't know what you'd get from the Spurs that would make sense, right? Because, like, I wouldn't want, like, Devin Vassell or anybody. Like, you might as well just keep Reeves at that point. I wouldn't mind having Harrison Barnes, but I wouldn't trade Austin Reeves for Harrison Barnes. What is your thoughts on getting Mike Malone as coaching staff? I mean, if you could, absolutely. But he's too good of a coach. He's going to end up being like the Knicks coach or somebody like that. Hallie is that dude 1,000%. Khalil Ware to the Lakers would be amazing. Draymond Green to the Lakers, Chris Paul and other Spurs pieces to the Lakers. I would stay away from Draymond Green personally. Where does he slot in? Right? Like, you're not starting him over LeBron. LeBron, you don't want him playing the 3 at this stage of his career. So personally, I'd stay away from that. Austin is not worth $30 million, and he has to be benched next to Luka and LeBron. It doesn't work. We need to trade him for a chip contracts ASAP. I mean, look, I'm one of the first people to say trade Austin Reeves. I don't think you just trade Austin Reeves, just trade Austin Reeves. But if you can get a good return for Austin Reeves, I think you do get a return for Austin Reeves. I'm not really worried about the Lakers like losing. I think worst case scenario, the Lakers just pull off a sign and trade, right? Like, there's not a lot of teams that have the cap space. And I don't imagine he's going to want to go to a team to rebuild because, at that point, he'll be, 27, 28 years old. So, I don't think he's going to want to go to like a Nets team and rebuild. So I think the worst case scenario, the Lakers sign and trade him and get more value for him for a team that really wants him. Thoughts on a straight connect for Goga swap? Add Shake if needed. I would do that in a heartbeat. Goga's 25? Tyler, why aren't you drinking yet? This is the Lakers finals. What are you thinking? Yeah, I don't have any liquor. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to play the shot game. I hope we trade Reeves for Kuminga and Moses. I would do that in a heartbeat, personally. Let's see. We own the Pacers. Austin Reeves dropped 45 without Luka and LeBron against them. We're not worried about them next season. Yeah, agreed. What's the dream offseason for the Lakers? Without naming specific players, because it depends on what's available and what's realistic. I mean, I'd love like a Triple J. Nah, like if we could get like Triple J, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and like an Andrew Wiggins or something like that, then I think we win the championship. But get 2 clear-cut centers, starting center, backup center, and 2 perimeter guys, and we're good. Whatever those guys are that are available, get them. Let's see. Thank you for your good show. We miss your lives these days. Well, first off, I appreciate you. Thank you. Secondly, I definitely, once we start getting in the actual offseason, I'll live at least every other day. I've still been live streaming pretty regularly. I've been live streaming like twice a week, but yeah, it's not like every other day like I was during the regular season. It's just there's not like, I want to have conversation stuff, things like that. Once there's actually like stuff to like really talk about. Right now, everything's just like murmurs and rumors, and we're not even in the off season yet. So once we actually have more stuff to like really dive into, then yeah, I definitely will be going live a lot more frequently. But I appreciate you. What can you get for Reeves, Rui Connect, and 2 first-round draft picks? Well, we don't have 2 firsts. We have a first, and then we have a bunch of pick swaps. But I mean, it depends. I mean, if Giannis was like, I only want to go to the Lakers, I don't want to go anywhere else, maybe you could get Giannis. It depends on how much somebody's willing to push. Triple J, for example. Triple J is going into a contract year. He could easily be like, hey, he could pull in Anthony Davis, and the Lakers might be able to get him for the assets. It just depends on who actually becomes available and who wants to be a Laker. Tyler, Phoenix is trying to trade or waive Beal. Would you take him if he's waived? Then after his contract expires, when he is like 33, sign him to a 3-year, $70 million contract. I wouldn't hate Bradley Beal off the bench as just like a bucket getter. I don't know if he would want to do that, for one. Two, I wouldn't pay him anything. Like, I mean, if he got waived, I'd be looking to sign him to it. Like if Phoenix was to waive him and we could get him on a vet minimum, or even like a mid-level, not mid-level, but like a taxpayer. Like if we could get him with our taxpayer mid-level, I would do that in a heartbeat. Right? Bring him off the bench. I wouldn't start him. I'd bring him off the bench as like just like a bucket getter off the bench and be a guy that go get you 20 on a regular basis. Right? Like, but I don't think that they're gonna eat all that money to get rid of Bradley Beal. I think that they'll try to trade him. I just don't see somebody trading him. Austin Reeves for Herb Jones' 7th pick. If you could pull that off, I would do that in a heartbeat. Lakers, please, for Miles Bridges and get Mark Williams for pennies on the dollar. I would do that in a heartbeat. Solves 2 of your major problems. I would trade for Wiggins, get a star center like Gobert. Problem is, Gobert just makes so much money. I would stay away from Gobert personally. But Andrew Wiggins, I don't hate Andrew Wiggins. I like Andrew Wiggins. I'd be all for getting Andrew Wiggins, but the only thing that I don't like is his contract. He's gonna make $30 million next year. Let's see. Tyler, why so many Kobe stans dislike LeBron? Imagine stop supporting your team because you hate a player so much. I mean, look, there's always going to be people that are not like Laker fans that are going to be, personal player fans, so I mean, those people, no matter what, you're always going to have, some disdain one way or another. Big part of it is just LeBron, right? When you're in the conversation for the greatest player ever, you're going to have people that you're going to have the naysayers one way or another. Let's see. Beal likely waived. I would take him when his contract over a 383, sign him on a 3-year. 70 is better than Austin Reeves and plays better defense. Look, I like Bradley Beal. And look, I was spot on about the Phoenix Suns. Spot on. Right? Like, as soon as they traded for Bradley Beal, I talked about it on this channel. I talked about it as it stands sports that, hey, Phoenix just ruined any chance that they have a win in a championship. And I talked about Bradley Beal too, that I think Bradley Beal still is a 23-5-5 guy. I really do. I think Bradley Beal is without a doubt 23-5-5. But he has to be on a team that doesn't have a bunch of redundancies, right? Like, he's the odd man out. He doesn't make sense for that team, right? Because they have Devin Booker, right? And he's not big enough to play the 3, and he's not skilled enough as a playmaker to play the point. He's a bucket getter. He's a guy you give the ball to and go get buckets. If you could get Bradley Beal, like I said, on a vet minimum or like a taxpayer mid-level, I would be all for it because, again, he's a guy that can get you buckets. He's a guy that could go win you a game in the playoffs or win you a game, win you multiple games during the regular season. Tyler, you should go live every day. Once we start getting more stuff, like things coming out, I wouldn't be against it at all. My plan is to go live every other day, but if there's enough stuff going on, then especially because Lakers are supposed to be really aggressive. Who would be a realistic lockdown defender target for the Lakers? See, lockdown defender is tough, right? Because like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I think is realistic, but he's not like a lockdown defender. He's just a good defender, right? Like when I think of lockdown defenders, I think of like a Dyson Daniels, right? Jalen Suggs when he's healthy, like guys like that. I just don't think any of those guys are realistic. But you never know. Never say never. That's right, because they are the ones still paying him on that contract. Beal on a vet minimum or tax play mid-level exception. Yes, exactly. I'm worried the Lakers are going to try and bring back Brook Lopez. Hope not, unless Lakers get a starting center first. I look, I personally would stay away from Brook Lopez, but if you could get him on a vet minimum and a backup role, then fine. I'm not against that, right? Claxton seems like our guy. I think so too. I think that's more likely than not. There was reports. I have a video posting tomorrow. There was reports from was it Nets Wire and Yahoo Sports that Claxton to the Lakers is closer than people realize. I would trade LeBron and go get Jokic. I would do in a heartbeat. A guy like him getting paid the vet minimum is kind of funny given how good he is. Yeah, but I mean, stranger things have happened. You see guys all the time, things like that happen. Facts. Tyler, I've always been a fan of CPO. I mean CP3. If he came on a vet minimum, that would be cool, dude. Like I said, I wouldn't mind Chris Paul at all, but we'd have to trade Austin Reeves. He doesn't make any sense if you keep Austin Reeves because you're always going to have Austin Reeves, LeBron, or Luka on the basketball court at all times, and all three of those guys are going to have the ball in their hands at all times, right? As your playmaker, as your guy. So, like, where does Chris Paul fit in? Now, if you traded Austin Reeves and turned him into players, now Chris Paul makes some sense because, again, same concept. You always have now Chris Paul, LeBron, or Luka on the court. In fact, Claxton is so thin. I don't think it's a good trade considering his huge contract. Good thing is about Claxton is his contract declines every year. So you actually, as the salary cap increases every year, he comes down every year. I do worry about him being so thin, but he is, again, he's not my favorite option at the center position, but he's probably the best defensive center that we could get realistically, right? Like, because I don't know if the Lakers will be able to get like a Walker Kessler or anything like that. So he is without a doubt one of the best, just versatile defensive centers in all of basketball, right? Like, but I do worry about him being so thin. So you would have to go get a more physical, imposing center, so that way you can kind of match what you need. I feel like we need a lockdown defender like Lou Dort or Neimark. Yeah, that'd be fantastic if we could get that. Get me Miles Bridges and trade Dalton Connect straight up for Mark Williams, no picks, and then go trade for Nick Claxton. Well, I mean, if you traded for Mark Williams, he's going to be your starting center. Nick Claxton, are you paying Nick Claxton $27 million to come off the bench? Probably not. At that point, I would be like, if you got Mark Williams, just go. Sign a Jericho Sims at that point. I don't really care. Just give me a athletic lob threat interior presence. Is it possible to trade Reeves for Bam and Adebayo? Is it possible? Yes. I don't know if the Heat would do that. I want Gobert. His contract isn't that bad, but he's 33. Yeah. There have been rumblings about getting Anthony Edwards some help. Could Reeves help out the Wolves? We could get a few players in return. I think we can try and sign a CP3. I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, if you could work something out. They need a playmaker. Like, he makes a lot of sense for them. But it's like, who are you going to get, right? Like, unless you're getting, like, Jaden McDaniels, it just, maybe Naz Reid. But, like, do you want Naz Reid to be your starting center? I don't, right? If Naz Reid, if we didn't have LeBron, I would be all for Naz Reid because you can slot him at the 4. But he's 6'9", right? Yeah, he's like 260 or whatever. Like, but I want the defense and the rim protection. Like, if you could sign and trade, if you could get Jaden, like if I could get a Jaden McDaniels, if you got Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker for like Austin Reeves, I would do that in a heartbeat. Because now you got two perimeter defenders. You got like an elite 3-and-D defensive guy and Jaden McDaniels, one of the best on-ball defenders in all of basketball. And then, a Nickeil Alexander-Walker to slot alongside. Like, literally, you could start those two alongside LeBron and Luka and then just go get a center and like Claxton or whatever, and now you're competing for championships. I want Jaren Jackson Jr. I do too. I'd love Jaren Jackson Jr. Maybe Wolves will sign and trade Naz Reid and Walker to the Lakers. Yeah. Oh, you read my mind. See? Great minds think alike. Is there any lockdown defenders that is a two-way player in the draft, like a Diet or Neimark type of player? The only one that comes to mind would be like Zion James from Duke that we could realistically get because we have the 55th pick. Zion James is probably your best bet because he's like a 6'6" versatile defensive guy, just a wrecking ball. Got good size, good strength, good everything. Starts 51 million, 26. He is not a second option after Luka to build around. I think so. Like, to me, he's more of a third guy. When LeBron retires, does a combo of Booker and Luka work? Then trade Reeves too, because we need him to get a center, a good one. I mean, I would love a Booker Luka combo if possible. I meant Dort or Neimark player. Yeah, like I said, Sion James. Nets have 4 first round picks. Why don't we buy the 27th? It's hard to buy a first because the going red. That's why you don't really see teams buy one, but maybe you could trade for one. That would be nice. But who would say no? Beats CP3 or CP3, sorry, KCP, Magic Connect, Vincent Kleba. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty good. Your argument would be like, hey, we get you out of the KCP business. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate something like that if you could pull that off. Like, hey, here's a young shooter that you can build around. Kleba gives you floor stretching big. Gabe Vincent gets you that veteran guard that can be another point of attack guy. Is Sion James considered a lockdown defender? Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that he's older, right? He's what, I think 22, 23, something like that. But yeah, he's known for like his defense, physicality, kind of being a wrecking ball. Can we draft Neimark's brother? I don't know what his projection is. To be honest, Tyler, what player do you want the most this offseason? Realistically, Triple J. I really do think Triple J is realistic, personally. The Pacers are the comeback. The Pacers are absolutely the comeback kids, which is insane. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. I got to the end of the chat. Definitely will continue to do these live streams. I'll be trying to do it at the end of every game. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll continue to do live streams. Like I said, once we start getting in the off season, we actually have like news and reports regularly rather than just like, hey, maybe. Definitely would be nice to have some conversations and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate everyone that hung out with me. Everyone that gave me super chats. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everyone that just hung out with me, period. I really do appreciate you guys. Getting the videos ramped up and everything. Get ready for this offseason. Lakers have a lot of work to do. But I just want a good NBA Finals, period. Right? That's what I want. But appreciate you all. Hit that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button on the way out, please. You people are beautiful.